everyone. I'm Larry Ridley. You're tuned into the NFL on EA Sports. We have a couple of teams who come off of losses just 1 week ago and now want to flip things back in a positive direction. It's the Texans going up against the Steelers. And with that, we'll send you up to the north shore of Pittsburgh and Heinz Field by the Three Rivers. So we headed over to our broadcasting team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Right at the convergence of the Three Rivers on Art Rooney Drive, we welcome you to Heinz Field in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Tonight we close out Week 7 with a good Monday night matchup between the Houston Texans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we look at this Steeler ball club entering play. They come in playing reasonably well. Losers the last time out, but winners of 4 of 5 before that. Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Texans, we're in October now, so everybody should be coming into form, shouldn't they?
They really should, and what you have now is a full routine established about what you want to get done and full focus on the season.
Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. So out come the Texans for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the second tallest quarterback in league history at 6'7". It's Brock Osweiler.
I saw Brock Osweiler throw in a practice session while he was in college, and it's never left me the memory of how smooth he was throwing the ball, how accurate he was, and what a catchable ball he threw.
They'll throw on first down with Osweiler. He's got it complete to Braxton Miller. It'll go as a gain of 12, and it's good enough for a Houston first down. And the offense lining up 1st and 10.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
And frankly, Brandon, we're talking about things I'm not sure we ever thought we'd talk about in the NFL, and a lot of that is the speed at the linebacker position. A lot of these guys in college, they were safeties. They moved them up to outside linebacker to combat the spread offenses, and now we're seeing it in the NFL. Those same guys using their speed to make plays in the backfield, similar to that one. We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with a football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
Offensive starters here. Wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, a talented wide receiver.
And he's still looking for that ultimate recognition. He wants to be mentioned with the best receivers in the game. His numbers suggest that we should do so.
They'll run it again with Miller. And he's got room. And he'll cut it to the left sideline. He got 29 yards that time.
Dance class, anyone? Did you see the steps between the quarterback and the running back on that counter play?
That's what you need for a good counter.
You have to have it because you're setting up your blocking. There's a timing element as well. But they have to marry up their steps. Otherwise, that timing gets thrown out the window.
Timing was great there and a big run. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. And the starting defensive unit here for Pittsburgh.
Stephon Tuitt's ability to play defensive end and yet rise up and knock passes away when quarterbacks try to throw them, he makes it hard to get around.
On 2nd down, here's Miller. And he'll be taken down near the 20 at the 21. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9. Here comes the 7th play of this opening drive. They've moved it well, but here's 3rd down.
Here we go. Detroit!
Play action. Now Osweiler. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. On now is Kai Forbath to try the field goal. This will be, 38 yards out. And Forbath will put this one through, and it's now 3-0 Texans. So it's our visitors who make the first dent in the scoreboard as they get 3 here on the initial drive of the ball game.
Yeah, it's hard to say who actually won that opening drive. On the one hand, anytime you come in as a road team and get an early lead, you're going to be thrilled. But at the same time, to have the ball as deep in enemy territory as they did and come away with only 3, that's got to be a little bit of a disappointment.
And a nice return sets them up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. So the Steelers offense getting set for their first drive. They're led onto the field by a man who needs no introduction, Ben Roethlisberger.
An absolute prototype for what you draw up as a big, strong quarterback that has to stay in the pocket and make big throws with people all around him and even hanging on him, and still has that type of strength to get the ball downfield. Ben Roethlisberger, an absolute rock in the pocket, but he also can escape and make big plays that way as well.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down. This offense has some speed, and certainly Martavis Bryant, he has some speed.
He has that, and he has size. That's what makes him so difficult to cover, because just when you think you have to play him one way, the other attribute kicks in. Martavis Bryant could be an all-star real soon.
And on 2nd and 10 now. Again on 2nd and 10, it's Roethlisberger. And this one complete to Marcus Wheaton. And he's got some space here. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Marcus Wheaton, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers have taken a first-quarter lead. Good pass, clean catch, and a house call there on the fly route.
And not that much room to operate. So that tells you about his acceleration. We always talk about being able to go from 0 to 60 real fast. It took him less time than that to get the top speed and complete that play.
Stephen Hauschka for the point after. And this is up and good to make it 7-3. 1 play, 2 plays, touchdown. That's all it took there. A very short and sweet drive that got him in the end zone. Hauschka now to send this one away following the score. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the Texans offense, they head back out to do battle here. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
On the right side, this is Miller. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. That one goes for 24 yards. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
On offense, the guy that you want to have the best eyes on the field are your quarterbacks, so you can see everything pre-snap, and then, of course, as the play develops. On defense, oftentimes it's the linebacker. And on this play, his eyes took him right to the ball, and he made a nice tackle.
And he'll get 3 up to midfield. On the stop that time, it's William Gay.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
Jalen Strong, the intended receiver, and it's 4th down. Now the former Gamecock, Spencer Lanning, on to punt it away. Taking it about the 16. 31 yards on the punt there. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now out come the Steelers. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. And a look now at the defense for Houston.
Vince Wilfork is a terrific player. The first thing you notice, obviously, is his size. But his agility will surprise you. He can play defensive end as well as hold down the middle as a defensive tackle.
Offense still needing 10 yards. 2nd down. They'll come out in the pistol. 2nd and 10 now. It's Roethlisberger. Goes underneath for Bell. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches. They come out here in the I. This is Johnson, the fullback. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a 1st down. Officially a gain of just a yard there, but they do convert on 3rd and inches.
3rd and inches, just turn around, hand it to the big guy and let him plow forward and pick up a 1st down. A lot of people think that the offensive line, they may almost take the play off because they got a big guy back there pushing forward. I think it actually works in reverse. I think they block harder because they love seeing that guy get the ball because he doesn't touch it very often. Okay, he didn't break that one all the way, but you got to know that he feels like he's right on the verge, and that's probably exactly what he's telling them in the huddle right now.
They'll go again with Bell. And this carry not as productive. He's swallowed up at the line of scrimmage. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. We've become so accustomed to it, you sort of take it for granted.
You really do, but he is so good that every team in his division, every year is...
Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line.
Well, that's a drive killer right there. Not a really confident throw either. This one was kind of up for grabs, and it's going to come down the hands of the wrong team.
The Texans offense now, they get set to head back on the field here. A 1st down carry now for Miller. And they'll be looking to avoid what happened last time, which is punting the football.
But when you look at how teams play the game, that complementary football comes into play. How do I take care of my defense? How do I take care of my offense? Well, the defense is taking care of them in a lot of ways. Now it's time for the offense to jump things up and help their defense out. Give them a little bit of rest.
Yeah, time for them to give them a rest. Took the words right out of my mouth. Now Osweiler on 2nd down. He's going to take a shot. Now a battle for the football. It's caught. It's a touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins high in the air to bring it in. And the Texans have retaken the lead. And it was a tight window. He knew he had to rocket that thing in there. He got it done.
And when you're able to complete one like that, your confidence has to just go sky high. You just mentioned it. Tight window, zings it in there despite excellent coverage. Result, touchdown.
And it's through, and that makes the lead 10-7. So we played 1 quarter here on a Monday night. 10-7 our score. More from the Steel City coming up after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is brought to you by Head & Shoulders. Shoulders were made for greatness, not dandruff.
With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2, as we'll see one following the score on the final play before break. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And this is caught by Martavis Bryant. And he's brought down after a good gain. And a nice gain of 21 yards. And a nice pitch and catch to pick up the reception against man coverage.
Both of them read how much yardage they needed, figured what they had to do, and were able to beat the man coverage for the completion.
And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Playing against a 3-4 front is really challenging for offensive linemen because they can do so many different things. But when you're running the football, if you can handle the nose tackle up front, and then maybe a guard can slide up to the second level and block a linebacker, that's when you have success running the football. Okay, when the big guy runs a corner route, you're asking a lot no matter who's covering him. Doesn't matter whether it's a linebacker or a defensive back. Yeah. He usually has the advantage because of his body type.
Fresh set of downs here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And not much running room. Down to the 32. Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Second down following the run. On second down, Roethlisberger. Green's got it over the middle. And he's brought down, but not before reaching the 8-yard line.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
No, I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice gain.
So that run gets him about halfway home.
Yeah, it's now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try and put it in that way.
No, he almost had it. Already with 1 interception, just missing his 2nd there. Well, he just threw an interception last drive. Nearly another pick.
And things aren't very even right now, are they? It's a little bit sloppy out there, isn't it? It's kind of the difference between driving on those paved roads and those country roads that have those potholes in them, isn't it? Because that's the way this game's going right now. A lot of bouncy bounce to it.
You spent some time on some Tennessee country roads.
I certainly have. Plenty of family back there. God love her.
So on 4th down here, Mike Tomlin says, let's just get 3. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. And Hauschka's kick is good. And that will knot us up at 10. So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive only yields 3 points.
Yeah, they were able to move the football, but the defense stiffened once their backs were to the end zone, and they were able to hold them to just 3.
So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. This one taken from the 7. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Heading out is the Texans offense as they get set to take over here. Now Osweiler on first down. Trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they're going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively, not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
And it's incomplete. Boy, he doesn't drop many like that one. Second down. So 2nd and 10 here. They come up with one running back. That's Bell. Now Roethlisberger. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They know that old expression, it's not my night. It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. It's a gain of 6, moves him to a manageable 3rd and 2 situation.
So much of the game today, we're looking for hybrid players, guys who can do a combination of jobs. And anyone who plays a strong safety position, now more than ever, is a hybrid-type player. Half defensive back that covers passes and half linebacker that makes tackles. We just saw the linebacker make that play.
And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line.
Give them a lot of credit. They ended up running the ball on a key 3rd down situation. They were staring 3 and out in the face and found a way to flip the script and keep the ball moving on offense.
They'll run with Miller. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Well, a well-executed blitz, no doubt. Great job by the linebacker. Maybe the quarterback, if he could have seen that, could have audibled there.
Yeah, he needed to be in a different play because that one just meshed perfectly for the defense. All the gaps were filled except for the one the offense really wanted to run through, and that was filled by a big man wanting to make a tackle.
And he made a great tackle. 3rd down here for the offense after the incomplete pass. Osweiler. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down. Here's Spencer Lanning now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And 2 interceptions already here in this first half. That's got to affect him a little bit, right? He's got to be thinking about it.
He's got to be thinking about it, but most of the good ones, they find a way to put it aside. They're not happy about it by any stretch of the imagination. They find a way to put it aside and continue to play their game.
Can he put it aside? Let's find out. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Now Roethlisberger on 1st down. Brought in by Coates. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Well, there wasn't much there with that hitch route. They didn't gain what they expected. But sometimes when you call a hitch, you really don't have an alternate to go to. You don't have a second route to throw it to. So sometimes you have to rifle in there and hope for the best.
A reminder that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll check in with Larry Ridley in Orlando with highlights and analysis of this first half of play.
And I'm going to check in with a heater.
I'm going to be right there with you, partner. Again, we'll see the pistol here. Now Roethlisberger to throw. And Bryant's got it over the middle. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs. Quick pass play there on the slant, Charles. Works out well for the offense.
The offense loves it. The defender hates it. Hard to get through the body of the receiver to get to the football trying to cover a slant.
Goes underneath for Bell. And he's brought down. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of build? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him. And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
They'll throw on first down with Roethlisberger. And this one caught by Coates. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. And now they're in the hurry-up. Now this is Bryant on the end around. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And a new set of downs here after picking up the first on the ground. Throwing now, Roethlisberger on first down. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And the 8th play on this drive coming up.
Watch left, watch left. Start right there.
Now Roethlisberger to throw on. Blitz coming, and down he goes. J.J. Watt in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year.
Let's go.
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. So the offense took the timeout. Looks like they're ready to go as we get set to resume the action. And the offense now will try to regroup after the sack on second down. And the Texans have an extra defender in the secondary now on third down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. So we are at halftime here on a Monday night, as we'll send you down to Orlando, where Larry Ridley has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
Thanks, Brandon. I'm Larry Ridley, and welcome to our EA Halftime Report. Let's look back now at this closely contested first half. So we've got a tie game at half, and you can bet both coaches are in that locker room making adjustments and telling their guys to just keep playing hard like they did in the first half. So here we go. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. Midway through the first quarter, Roethlisberger's on target here, and this 2-play drive goes for a touchdown. The Steelers go up by 4. Third down at the 39. The pass ends up being picked off. Green's in position, and he's the one who comes away with the ball. Offense out now following the interception. Hopkins is found on the quick pass. And it ends up working for a touchdown, which takes the lead to 3. Steelers lined up at the 28. Will once again sack the QB. This will go for a loss of 8. So that'll bring our halftime report to a close. We'll go back now to Heinz Field for the start of the third quarter.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That's fielded in the end zone. And last year that would have been a net gain of 5 on the return. This year he stopped where he would have been if he had taken a knee, and that's at the 25. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. Wide open receiver complete. 26 yards on the pickup there. And it'll give the Steelers a first down.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
Now a first down carry by Bell. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, so far, this game has gone the way the defensive coordinator had hoped. They've dictated things. They've not let them run the ball very well at all. They gave up a nice game there. I doubt it'll back off their confidence. They've played so well throughout this entire game.
Now it's Roethlisberger. Out left side here to Bryant. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. On 1st down, it's Roethlisberger. And Big Ben intercepted a 3rd time. A great read, and it's picked off. And a terrific return as he'll take it up past the 35. First possession of the 3rd quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that back in the good old days.
After the penalty, it's Miller. And he'll get this only up to about the 35. He'll get 3 of those penalty yards back here, leaving him with a 2nd and 12. See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down.
Well, they held him to a short gain on that one, and it almost felt like on that first run, they were trying to just throw the jab at him. So how do you stop a jab? Get closer and smother it, just as they did on that last play.
They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? And he's got the completion to Hopkins. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
And that's understanding where the markers are, because it's not just running to them. Because on the catch, you can actually be pushed back before the first down. It's getting past it and allowing that opportunity to drip back towards the first down line and still having picked it up. Really well run.
And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. Give him 11 yards that time and a new set of downs. So the run gets them the first, and now they operate with a fresh set of downs.
Whenever we meet with coaches and they always talk about wanting to establish running the football, it's oftentimes with a good tight end who can control the line of scrimmage and the point of attack, and they're becoming harder to find because the colleges are giving us a whole lot of receiving tight ends, former wide receivers who can run, not necessarily block very well. In this case, though, we saw 2 tight ends on the field, both of them with the ability to block, and they ran the ball successfully behind that power set.
And movement here by one of the Texans up front. In comes the flag.
False start, offense.
First down and goal to go from the 7. This is the running back, Blue. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Alfred Blue, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Texans have broken the tie. And they drew up the counter there. It worked. They're glad they drew up the counter.
And a lot of times what you're trying to do is just simply get the defense moving in one direction. It doesn't take much. Even 1 step's enough. Get them going in one direction and then cut back against the grain and let your running back finish it off and get the work done.
This is fielded at the goal line. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Another pistol look here. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. This is Bell on the dump off. They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. Now Roethlisberger on 1st down. Wheaton with a catch right side. And he's brought down. A good pickup there of 20 yards. Inside 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. Now Roethlisberger. And caught, right side, Green. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
Yeah, interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. Here's Johnson now, the fullback. And he'll be a little shy of the 25 here at the 26-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
Now, how about that call handed to the big guy in that situation? Normally you think of him as a real short yardage runner, but in this case they trust him to get a few more yards than that. I remember an old New York Giants quarterback, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, telling me he loves offensive coordinators who call the plays with a little bit of abandon. That was a good run, probably right on the edge of breaking into something really big. So the defensive guys right now are talking about, okay, what can we do to slow him down before he truly gets started?
They come up with one running back. That's Bell. He'll get the football here. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. And here comes play number 6 on this drive.
Not too many more ideal situations at 2nd and 2 in order to try and pick up a 1st down. They ran it and picked it up.
He's going to get 4 out of this as he's down to the 10-yard line.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that any time you hand the ball to a back.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. They'll run it with Tony D. Only about a yard there as he takes it from the 9 to the 8.
Holding offense.
So a little grabbing there, but this time it goes against the offense for holding. And a long way to go for the offense here on 2nd down. Now they'll throw it with Roethlisberger. Goes underneath for Bell. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal. First down and goal, the offense knocking on the door. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. 1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Pittsburgh. It's the Steelers with the football, but trailing here as we get going in quarter number 4. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. Now Roethlisberger to throw on 2nd down. Marcus Wheaton was the one he was looking for. And it's 3rd down.
A missed opportunity for an interception would have killed off a drive. He had a chance there to finish things off. Didn't get it done. I guess that's why a lot of those guys do not play offense.
And a really long drive here, and it goes on and on. Now it looks like they might be expecting a pass, an extra DB in on 3rd and goal.
That's how the game...
And for the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. A great read, and it's picked off. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And a huge return as he'll take this one all the way down inside the 30-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
Now Miller, he's had a big workload here tonight. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
But that certainly felt like an example of the defense just saying, okay, we've had enough. We've gotten mashed all night long. About time we got a good play in. But flip it over to the offensive side. They've got to be really upset that they allowed a play like that to happen. They were pitching such a great game, they want to keep it going.
He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
From our vantage point, that was just one bad play by the offensive line in a series of really good ones tonight. But I know they're going to be really ticked off. It's a lot like a baseball pitcher.
Can't find anyone, and down he goes. Osweiler sacked. Bud Dupree able to drop him for a loss of 12, and it'll be 4th down. Here's Spencer Lanning now as he's on to punt for Houston. 3rd and long, defense with no fear. They brought the pressure.
Zero fear at all. That means they feel really good about the guys who are going to cover. But the biggest one is they think their pressure will get there before he has a chance to find an open receiver.
And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. They come up with one running back. That's Bell. They go back to the air here after the INT. And that is incomplete.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well. And he didn't get that done on that play.
Here's Roethlisberger. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. That one goes for 24 yards. And now a 1st down following that long gain. On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. And nearly another interception. They've been around the ball all game.
Well, an incomplete pass certainly doesn't look like a good play. For the guy throwing it today, as many interceptions he's thrown, he's got to feel a sigh of relief that the ball actually hit the ground and didn't go in the other direction.
This is Bell on the dump off. Wow, evasive.
Make a miss.
They call it a gain of 19, and it moves the chains. 1st down and 10 now for the offensive group. On 1st down, it's Roethlisberger. Out to the flat, that's complete to his running back. Just a 1-yard pickup on the play, and it'll bring up a 2nd down. He felt the pressure coming there. That was a good job of just making something out of nothing, so to speak.
Yeah, took the hit and still made the play. You know, when we talk about runners, all right, and on running plays, runs after contact, we call that getting dirty yards, tough, gritty ones. To me, that's like the version of a dirty pass. He knows he's going to get smacked, yet still delivers the football and picks up good yardage.
Nothing on the screen that time. Now it's 3rd down.
So many screen passes are the result of excellent acting by everyone. But sometimes the guy who's getting the ball tips the play off. You know, the running back, because he's eager to get the pass, and sometimes he doesn't act very well about whether he's going to block or leak out or whatever. And I think that they saw that, and that's why they're able to get to him on it.
Now after the play, it looks like there's a Texan here slow to get up. While the training staff takes a peek, we'll take a break. Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. They come up with one running back. That's Bell. Here's Roethlisberger to throw. Throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And he gets it inside the 10 to the 9. It's a nice pickup of 12 yards, and it gives him a 1st and goal. And the next snap coming inside the red zone here. And passing yardage-wise, now up over 350 in this game. Pretty nice performance.
Definitely that, which usually means you're putting a lot of pressure on guys trying to cover. If you're a defensive back and they put over 350 yards on you, you've had a long day. The key to everything, if you're doing it without throwing interceptions or turning the ball over. Now, that's the type of play that gives you a chance to win. Nothing forced downfield where you don't have a guy open. Swing it out to the back, and maybe even check it down, whatever you want to call it.
And my goodness, another interception. A great read, and it's picked off. And a great return as he's up close to the 40-yard line. The interception woes, they just continue to mount. He's thrown 5 picks. At this point, you got to be thinking, is it something between the ears?
I think a confidence hit does occur once you start getting those numbers up there a little bit. But as you and I both know, it's not always just one guy's fault. Maybe somebody ran the wrong pattern. Maybe some balls were tipped. It could be so many different things.
Lamar Miller. Touchdown, Houston. Lamar Miller, his 6th touchdown of the season. And the Texans will extend their lead. And there you go. Nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
Forbath to send it away now following the touchdown. Fairly short kick, taking it to 14 here. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And now here is another interception. A great read, and it's picked off. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. What a nightmarish game he's having now. 6 interceptions that he has thrown.
Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? Hard to believe we're watching this and have seen it, but it just tells you about the game of football. It giveth and it taketh away.
Yeah, the guys, though, that have thrown 6 interceptions in a game, the likes of Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, I think Joe Namath, he did it 3 times. Stephon Tuitt, the one that got him down. 2nd down following the run.
Yeah, that wasn't a big run, just a short one there. But guess what? Sometimes you treat it like boxing. You throw that jab out there, and you throw it again, then you come with a big punch later. Maybe they're just trying to set them up.
4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave them with a 3rd and about 4 more for a 1st.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. Time for a break. We'll come back and see this one out after this. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle, and that'll push the lead up to 17. So after the pick, they can't capitalize for 6, but they do get 3.
And I know in this situation, most of us wanted to focus on the offense. You know what side of the ball I played on. Let's give that defense a lot of credit, taking it over in a sudden change situation and shutting them down. Even after that big-time return, it's not looking great for them today. But if nothing else, even if the miracle doesn't happen, they can turn to this play and say, hey, we can move forward. Maybe it's a building block for the rest of the season.
Wheaton with a catch right side. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Marcus Wheaton with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Steelers are able to cut into that deficit.
And that touchdown puts us in a position to have a discussion, doesn't it? Now it'll be a 2-score game after the conversion.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt with a 2-score game they're going to have to onside kick it. We'll just see if they've got a miracle up their sleeve.
And you wonder what onside kicks they're going to use and in what sequence if they hope to have a chance to win this game.
And the effort snuffed out. The Texans' hands team recovers. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Again, it's Miller. And a short gain there. And the Steelers signal for another timeout. That'll be their 2nd, so one more chance to stop the clock here. And we'll be back. Miller, the lone setback. And they'll give it it to him here. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. And play is stopped here. Timeout. It's the defense calling the timeout here. That'll be their third and final stoppage here as we step aside. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Throwing now is Roethlisberger. Now a desperation. And this is intercepted. And that should do it. A great read, and it's picked off. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line. The number 7 usually lucky here, not for him. 7 picks he's thrown in this game. That's only happened 6 times since 1960.
And I know that the most recent time it happened, the guy who threw him, he won a Heisman Trophy in college, so sometimes you just have a lousy game. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad career, but when you're talking about one game, 7, you're right, not lucky at all.
Yeah, Ty Detmer, the last to do it in 2001, to throw 7 picks. Osweiler to a knee, and that should wrap this one up. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted, no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for Houston, it may not be too late to salvage their season as the win moves them to 2-5 now on the year. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Steelers, the loss drops them back to 4-3 so far. And they'll be at home for one next week as the Baltimore Ravens come to town. That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. With that, we say good night from Pittsburgh.